24 billion. Airbnb is worth 24 billion,
Registers forward.
and Expedia just bought HomeAway for 4 billion. So you can have $28 billion for just the two industries. So
Isn't that something?
what they said, it was some ridiculous number. 35,000 locations.
Is it on that big long list that I gave you?
34,000 municipalities around the world. So they said they don't have the capability. Doesn't seem like they can't go on.
Let me know.
This would be locked in.
It was March, it's March
This
20th.
has one factor.
Okay.
Solar, March 20th.
But they're already worried about it. If they got 4,000, they don't have the manpower to watch to make sure that everybody has one. It's going to be in the case of your neighbor, which we already have that.
Even with that, you're gonna have to that one is gonna say, and just divide by every employee rate.
This is also.
All right, let's begin our regular meeting. Pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Did everyone get a chance to go through the minutes? Got last meeting?
John Brewer,
Here.
Kathy Jordan, out. Art Christie,
Here.
John Horn,
Here.
Joanne Cowell, here. Alan Steiner,
Here.
Clifford Buffalo.
Here.
Okay. Anybody have any corrections to the minutes?
No.
Motion to accept the minutes from the last meeting?
I make a motion to accept the minutes as written.
Motion by
Second?
Who's second?
I'll second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, as far as communications go, there's a conference registration form for, I've never heard of this, have you? The Gideon Putnam Saratoga Spring NYPF 78th Annual Conference.
I think this is.
New York Planning Federation.
Yeah, no, this is, says the Gideon, oh, that's probably hotel.
Yeah, that's a little bit.
Yeah.
It's $95 per member. Full registration, $189.
Yeah.
189 is full.
No.
Have we ever been to these members?
I have, long time ago.
We're waiting to see what the actual schedule is going to be. This is over several days.
Yeah.
See if there's a day that's more beneficial for what the board does. There was a recommendation made that at least one or two members from both planning and zoning and look into contribution from the town to do that. I was speaking with Rob about it.
So this is separate than the Association of Towns.
Yes, that's the plan.
Is anybody interested in it? Further? Yeah. All right, that's all I have. There's information on the Silkus Creek news, if anybody wants that. Ellen, are these on?
Yeah, put them on. Yeah. Yeah, that one too.
I don't know if people still complaining they can't hear us.
Yeah.
Usually it's on here.
It broke. Remember, it broke last time. I have them on order.
Okay, the Carolyn Monroe project on Route 42.
And these are closest to me, so you get the different.
I have brought in revised plans based on the workshop meeting that we had 2 weeks ago. And I made the following changes. On the site plan, the path lights have been indicated. They're little A's on the paths. Also,
on the pads, too.
and then also using them for the driveway lanes. The detail for that is on page 2. They're about 30 inches high, the LED lights, and they're shielded in the base down.
Oh,
And as we discussed at the workshop, they're on the uphill side of the driveway. So even though there is, those 2 is down below, the slope of the hill is going to shield the lights from being seen from the street. There's a detail on page 2 for a proposed sign at the edge of the property. That's about 10 square feet. This is not a highway sign, this is off the old Route 42. The speed of the traffic is going to be very slow there, so it's a small sign. What's also going to be on the bridge is a weight limit sign. I'm not sure whether or not the fire chief had a chance to take a look at it. No. Mike North's, we measured the bridge, both the span and the size of the steel that's there. And Mike North did the calculations on the loading of it, and it's in excess of 30 tons. So we're going to have a sign on the bridge indicating that the maximum weight limit is the 30 tons. But that actually should accommodate any of the fire trucks. It definitely accommodates the existing propane delivery stand. On the site plan, they're fairly small, but the dumpster location near the service building has been indicated. And then also the propane tanks. It's on the Circle Drive near the service building. And those were the changes. Oh, I'm sorry. Also, we were asked to put the heights on the building, on the elevations, and those were included. Yeah.
Nothing else could be done with those grades, right?
except for that widening.
Except for the widening. We've got the three places where we're widening the road.
Is that wide enough so 2 cars can pass, or is that just a kind of a pinch
The
point?
standard for cars passing is 12, and most of the road right now is at 13. And the 3 places that we're widening it, we're going to be widening it to 17.
So just a couple sort of more comfortable pull-offs.
As somebody's coming down, if they see that there's somebody coming up and they feel a little apprehensive, they can pull off to the side. Because there's, from the bottom of the driveway all the way to the top, There's a stone wall that's about 2.5 feet high, and although that's a protection, it could intimidate somebody a little bit if they're driving, so we allow for the extra space so that they can stay away from the stone wall.
Is there, when you're widening it, John, you're putting in catch basins as well?
Catch basins are there.
And they're gonna be okay where you're widening it?
Yeah. We'll make sure there's a grade on it. Right now, there's a ditch in the swale and an opening for the culvert. So we'll put catch, we'll put a cover on top of that.
Okay, I think we need a motion to send this to the county, do we?
I see the decision was to see the siding also.
So, Ann, do you have a packet to send to the county? Okay.
Yes, we can. Now, why Tuscarora County?
Because it's on the state highway.
Within a certain distance. It's not actually on the state highway,
Yeah.
but it's within 500 feet.
And the lower part of the property actually is on the state highway. There's this one section where we're off of Old Route 42, but then 42 is wrong here.
And we can set it up for a public hearing? Public hearing for our next regular meeting?
We can have it before,
Not you have to have county.
huh?
You need 30 days for county.
Okay.
Well, you could have a public hearing and we can come back, but still gotta wait. There's still have to the county make a determination.
You wouldn't need till the second Tuesday?
No, the first one.
First Tuesday?
First Wednesday of the month.
So it would be after that. I think you should have it.
So we'll be right after that.
That way you can vote.
Yeah, but we won't have time to review their recommendation. If we get it by then. If we can get it by then.
Well, if you don't get it, then we'll have to do
Right.
it. 30
Then
days.
again, they can-
They either get it to you by 30 days.
All right.
So, public hearing. Do you need a motion for that, for public hearing?
I make a motion to move this to public hearing for our first meeting of the month of, for Colin Monroe property on Route 42. For the first meeting, first Wednesday,
Second Wednesday.
second Wednesday of April.
Okay, now, second that, Dave?
Yes.
Okay. All those in favor?
April 13th.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, John.
Thank you all.
Do you need any more things to do?
No, well, we've got, we don't need all, keep all those people. No, I think we'll have at least one of those.
Good evening.
Now, Andy, you usually get the adjourned ordinance, or they?
When I notify them of the public hearing. We actually already put them in the application.
Okay, thanks. And new business? Nothing? Any discussions with anything? Keith, do you have a report for us?
Well, thanks for sending down, we have the 3 cases that came in from Shandaken and Walden. Everything went through with no county impact. We got all that information, is that correct? Mr. Rich, I do want to thank you. I did get to meet Sam. He did come down to the meeting. I will be out of town on business the next Ulster County Planning Board meeting. So Bob had told me that he has to go through the legislature to get himself in. But I think it would be great for him to come down and just audit another meeting. You know, I didn't feel to vote or anything like that, but just to come down and get himself more familiarized with it. But now my travel schedule kind of cuts right off after this next trip I have to do. The only thing I would say, we did discuss at length the new regulations in that they're trying to come up with for solar energy. And at Ulster County Community College on the 22nd, there is going to be a seminar, and I think that would be a great thing if you get a hold of them down at the planning board and get yourself signed up for that. It's something that communities are wrestling with, all this new information, you know, as far as density on property, you know, is it going to affect the water, you know, if you've got these large scale operations. So again, they're going to have a crew in from Pace University, and they're going to be going over some of the experiences that they've been doing now.
What is that?
It's going to be March 22nd at Ulster County Community College, 7 o'clock. You get hold of Mary Ann down at the planning board to get you signed up. But I think that'd be great.
Dennis is going to present the list?
Sorry?
Dennis will be there presenting?
I think, no, I don't believe him. It's Pace University that's coming in to do this. I was looking for my actual paperwork that we had discussed it at length. It was one of those things that we have many cases on. And I know when we got to this particular part of our program, Dennis wanted to expound a few words, if you know what that means.
Yes.
Yeah. So we spent quite some time on it, and I think with what, as far as solar, the way it's going right now, and a lot of the tax credits and people doing them, again, it impacts our area. We get to get an idea of what they're, you know, they've got some good solutions as far as what's going on in different towns.
What is the focus on? What do you put on the roof or these massive?
Well, you're talking about solar farms more. You know, again, they're not. They don't seem to be too concerned about, you know, individuals doing their house and that. But there's, you know, some communities that are trying to, you know, do like a community collective for power. And this is kind of what they're looking at. You know, other people trying to, you know, like if you have a neighborhood, they decide to create an association, and you know. They do their power, they have to take a certain area. It might require a larger area, and then when you're putting the panels on, you know, how does it change the density of the property? Again, a lot of questions are coming up about this. I mean, I think it's a great technology, but again, working with it, you know, in larger groups, that's what they're looking at.
John, if you're ever in Hurley, go look behind Town Hall, you want to see an array. They put a large one behind their town hall right there on 209. So that's what the county's getting.
So that's a whole. Don't they did something like that in Minnesota?
Yeah, so this too.
So we did one too.
Oh, I noticed down at the Emerson, they had big banks of solar panels on the ground. You know, on
That's along
stands.
the lines of what they're looking at. Yeah.
Going up to on the Mass Turnpike, you get up,
That's a big one.
there's a whole field that's just covered with. This. Was there any, were you about any discussion with the Airbnbs?
We have had no real discussion on it. I mean, we've talked, you know, a couple of community, for instance, Woodstock, the member from Woodstock was talking about it. And again, have we got involved in it? No. Again, I guess they're waiting for a town-by-town decision of what's happening with Airbnb. Again, my business community, I mean, we do Airbnb. Again, it's something that, you know, we pay the income tax on it. Again, there's no official regulations have been set up in the town or village of Hunter. They've looked at it. You know, we actually live in our house is in a rental community, but you know, again, we've done. We're on site. We have an apartment downstairs. And we are on site. So again, we've had no issues with as far as noise or anything like that. I mean, we've had some people in the community want to kind of create legislation, but it seems like they'll be just layering over legislation we already have. I mean, you know, there is a noise ordinance. You don't have to create something else. You know, there is a trash ordinance. You don't have to create something else. There is parking ordinance. You don't need to, you know, overdo it again. You know, but you know, in our area, it's we're in a ski community, and a lot of people, again, they're looking for that kind of bed and breakfast kind of thing. Although it's not a bed and breakfast because that's a whole other set of rules with the health department and everything like that. But we had no official discussion. I did miss the meeting before, and I don't recall anything on that they discussed. But again, a couple of the communities have said what they've been doing in their community, in our community reports, but nothing has been put in front of us as any discussion.
If you hear about any of the communities coming up with a solid plan of action, let us know.
Have you guys had issues here?
We have big issues.
Yeah.
When don't I have issues? I get at least one a week. And the only reason we're looking at creating some sort of code for it is, yes, we also have the noise ordinance, the trash ordinance, but it's getting it out there so that the owners, because we have your situation, you're there.
Right.
It's getting it to the owners that we can't get a hold of. Right. Because we have no way to hold
We
them
have
accountable for it.
in the village of Hunter, and again, I'm speaking as a resident, not a resident over there, but I have property over there too. But when we did have a village meeting on it, we had a lot of people that were very, very upset, and they did bring the one owner in, held his feet to the fire, and said, "This is what has to be done, or you're in violation. It's just going to be, you're going to get the violation for noise, you're going to get the violation for parking, you get that," and that's basically going to, the police are going to be at your place. You want your crowds, and I have not heard anything in a while from this particular house, but again, when it becomes more of a problem is when we get near graduation time. A friend of mine, her house, they decided to make a campfire with the doors in the house.
Yeah. That's what, there's no owner on site, that's what.
Yeah, and that's something that, that might be something that people that have to address. In our case, I feel like Bob Newhart, I give people their towels and I got a little soap for them and a little mint on the pillow.
Well, here we had citizens of people who live in the town come and they're concerned because they said every weekend they have strangers next door to them every weekend. And they don't feel comfortable, especially, these were two women that lived in the house next door together, and they are, she says, I don't feel safe anymore.
Yeah.
You don't know who's next door.
Well, again, like I said, the owner, has to, I would have to think involved in that. I know we are involved on our side.
It would actually be simple if the owner was on site trying to rent us, because we have, very simple. So
Yeah.
It's the ones who buy the property, and they're not even here, not a resident.
Right. No, and again, that's something, you have that sort of control on. I do remember coming home from a music job late at night and thought I was free and clear at 2 o'clock until the bachelor party came back from the slopes at 3:30 in the morning. And there was a wrestling match on top of me. But, I went up there with my robe. I'm sure I looked pretty scary, but they all kept real quiet after that. That's the only issues I had.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Art, do you have anything to report on the review of the comprehensive plan?
I just got a couple of copies made up and we'll be ready for the workshop to start putting them in the package now.
Any discussion on anything else?
Well, I have something, but I think we do it in executive session.
Valves,
Legal.
valves, council.
Or is that already done?
Was it Mr. Olson, our
Yeah.
counsel?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's on,
Oh.
yeah.
Oh, okay, that's all I wanted.
Yeah, Mr.
But I
Olson.
didn't want to bring it up.
Yeah, Mr. Olson is still our attorney. So, he's our attorney for the resort, Bella Resort. And we're not going to know anything until the 22nd, as far as what's going on with the legalities of that at this moment. That's when the paperwork will all be in.
Okay, good.
Anything else?
That's all I have.
No, you're talking about this latest lawsuit against us?
There's been some papers filed against us for the Bella Resort, and we won't know more until 22nd.
That's after all.
Can I hear a motion?
No, March 22nd.
March.
Find out if they mailed that into the.
They did.
They did.
Yeah.
What?
Sam's body's resume is sent in.
Oh, town board already made a resolution and approved it.
Oh,
So
good.
that was handled Monday.
Oh, all right.
So.
I was watching on TV, but I didn't see that.
Yeah, Joyce, that's in Joyce's hands, so
Oh, okay.
that should be on its way.
Motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Says as soon as they get it, they'll pass it.
All those in favor? Aye.